Hi, how are you all doing? I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day. My name is Aditi and today we are going to talk about the difference between graphic design and product design. Super interesting topic, super important topic, especially if you're planning to study design in a design college and you're confused as to which is the right majors for you. Probably this video will help you out because we are going to talk about this topic in detail. To save your time, I'll add all the timestamps in the description box. But if you choose not to go there and watch this entire video, I promise you will not regret because it's got a lot of helpful content. We'll start off by talking about what is the meaning of the two fields, what kind of job responsibilities you will have, and lastly, we'll talk about the possible job opportunities that you might get once you graduate out of college. So let's not waste more time. Let's get started by understanding what is the meaning of graphic design. Graphic is anything that is visual. That's like a diagram. Now this symbol or this diagram could represent an organization in the form of a logo, or it could be a poster that is used to market a brand, or it could even be something as huge as a billboard or something as small as a pamphlet or a brochure or a business card. Whether it's a mobile app, website design, or even the packaging of the food that you're consuming. Anything to do with the font style, font size, layout, alignment, colors, all of that is taken care of by somebody who is an expert at graphic design. Product design, on the other hand, is coming up with a tangible solution for your everyday problems. And this problem could literally be anything. It could be that noisy blender that you have in your kitchen that doesn't let you sleep, or it could be the chair that gives you a backache at the end of every 6 hours, or it could even be the toothbrush that you're using. Maybe the bristles of the brush are too harsh for your gum and it makes you bleed every day, or maybe the bristles are too soft and nothing really is being cleaned out. A person who's an expert at understanding the user, coming up with multiple solutions, prototypes and mock-ups is a product designer. Both of these fields are equally demanding. They require the same amount of hard work, same amount of research, and the good part is both of them are equally rewarding. I'll give you a small example for this. Have you looked at the Indian banknote carefully? Well, if you live in India, I'm sure you have, and I'm sure you've noticed the rupee symbol. I'll tell you a few interesting facts about this symbol. The R on the rupee symbol is derived from the ancient Indian Devanagari script, one of the oldest scripts in the world, and this was done to represent the cultural history of the country. That line that you see at the top, that is known as Shiro Rekha, is the same rekha that you and I draw when we write something in Hindi. And the two lines, they have an equal amount of negative space beside them. And this was intentionally maintained to represent the Indian tricolor flag. The flag is one such entity which is beyond any culture, religion or caste. The two lines at the top will also remind you of the popular arithmetic equals to sign, and this symbolizes the balanced economy that we are aiming for. And despite the complexity, the symbol is so easy to remember, recognize and even replicate. This falls under the category of intelligent graphic design. Now there's another interesting question. What happens when the same banknote is being used by specially abled citizens of the country? Then what do we do? What kind of symbols should be embossed on the banknotes? What happens when the same banknote is being used by people living in extremely humid or rainy conditions? We don't want the banknote to split in two halves with just a splash of water. What is the science of the material? How do we ensure that this banknote is impossible to replicate? All of these problems are taken care of by a team of people who are experts at user research, coming up with multiple mock-ups, prototypes. In other words, they have some history in product design. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is that both graphic design and product design work hand in hand. However, if you're somebody like me who pretty much likes everything around them, and this is why you're having a hard time deciding as to which is that right field for you, you don't have to worry, because in this segment of the video, I'll ask you quick 5 questions, fun questions. I'll give you 2 options with each of these questions, and all you have to do is note it down somewhere, what are the options that you've picked, and at the end of this exercise you'll get a good idea of which field comes more naturally to you. So let's get started with the first question. Imagine that you're walking into a mall and you have 2 stores in front of you. The first store has collection of the latest gadgets, latest kitchen appliances, and it's got exquisite pieces of furniture. And then there's a second store which has collection of some of the most iconic photos from around the world. It has collection of the bestseller novels around the world, music albums around the world. You can only choose one store. I'll not reveal the answer yet. Let's move on to the second question for now. Imagine that you have a grand birthday event coming up. Which one of these two roles are you most likely to enjoy? Would you like to design all the invitation cards, the happy birthday banner which goes on the wall, or the cake decor, the overall visuals or the aesthetics? Or are you more of a planner? Where will this birthday be hosted? What kind of sitting arrangement will we have? What kind of games we will play? What kind of seats will be used during the games? How do we ensure that everybody feels equally participated and welcomed? How do we make this event memorable for everyone? What role will you enjoy more? I hope you've made your decision. Let's move on to question number 3. What is that one thing that you loved collecting during your childhood? You know, there are these few things, no matter how old and washed out it gets, it's so difficult for us to discard it. What is that one thing in your cupboard that you have collected since your childhood? Is it some clay modeling tool or a toy or some kind of craft kit? Or were you the kind of kid who loved collecting postal stamps, old magazines, old car posters, movie posters, cartoons, or you know, those expensive packaging that we get with all of these cookies and chocolates? Did you love collecting all of that? Moving on to question number 4. What is that one topic that you absolutely love learning about, something that you're never tired of? Is it learning about the science and physics of things we are surrounded by? Now, I'm not talking about those complicated derivations from class 12, the general physics and science that we are surrounded by, like the fan or the physics of the air conditioner or the blender, like I spoke previously, cars, engines. Does it make you happy? Or are you somebody who loves reading about photography, who loves staring at all the magazine covers, photos, and you wondered, how have they got this shot so perfect? Do you love looking at all different kinds of banknotes, flags, for example, and you've asked yourself, why have they chosen to work with only these set of colors? What's the reason behind that? Which one of these two topics excites you more? Last but not the least question, what kind of a work do you enjoy? Do you love working in teams where you have to collaborate with different kinds of people? Does working in groups give you a lot of energy? Or are you somebody who likes their own solo space? You love having your own timelines, your own timetable, and you can take care of projects all by yourself. Guys, I will not be revealing the answers to these questions in the video, but I've typed down all the answers in the description box so you can understand your scores that way. And for all of my friends who have scored an absolute 50-50, there is a field called UI UX design, and this field is almost like the child of product design and graphic design, and I have already uploaded a video on this topic, so you can have a look at that, and I'm confident that it will help you to clear pretty much most of your general doubts. If you're in school or you've just come out of your graduation and you're planning to study graphics or product professionally at your bachelor's or your master's level, there are several good colleges in India today where you can take up these courses. But for the sake of this video, I'll just mention the top 3 government college options that you can aim for, starting with NID. NID is National Institute of Design, and here you can study your bachelor's and your master's in both graphic design and product design. Then there's another option to study at NIFT. NIFT is a fashion institute, so if you're somebody who's into product but at the same time you enjoy fashion, then you can take up accessory design. And if you're somebody who enjoys graphics and fashion at the same time, then you can go for fashion communication. You can also study at IITs in India. Here at your master's level, you can choose if you want to specialize in communication design or industrial design. All of these 3 colleges have their own separate exams, and I have already uploaded a video on this topic. I'll add the link to this also in the description box. By the way, did you know that the designer of the Rupee symbol, Professor Uday Kumar, is the teaching faculty at the IIT Guwahati campus? Did you know about this fact? Tell me in the comment section. Coming to the final segment of today's video, let's talk about the possible job opportunities that you will get once you graduate with a degree in design. There are so many roles to pick from, there are so many roles that you can blend in and so much to learn, and it is practically impossible for me to include all of that in one single video. So for the sake of convenience, we will stick to the most popular options. If you graduate with a degree in product design, you're most likely to have the option of either working as a product design engineer or as a UX designer. Let's talk about product design engineer first. The name itself has engineer in it, so obviously you need to be very comfortable with science, physics, calculations, 3D modeling software, technical concepts like plasticity, elasticity, materials, understanding functionality of products, efficiency of products, manufacturing methods. There are few companies who hire product design graduates for this role, but a majority of them also hire engineers for this role. If you're working at a company like Tata Elxsi, the salary will start from 5.3 lakh per annum. But if you choose to work as a UX designer, then we are expected to be very comfortable with intensive user research, intensive journey maps, detailed user personas, being comfortable with software like Figma, Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, basically everything that you will need for prototype or wireframe designing. And as a UX designer, if you're comfortable with HTML and CSS, you're always going to have an upper hand when you're applying for job opportunities. If you work at an online or digital brand, something like Book My Show, the salary starts from 7 to 8 lakh per annum. Talking about graphics, if you're specializing in logo designing, corporate template designing, app designing, website designing, and you work at a company like Paytm, the salary starts from 4.3 lakh per annum. And if as a graphic designer, you're comfortable with HTML, CSS, and you have some knowledge of animation designing, colors, typography, then if you work at a young company like Nykaa, the salary starts from 3.6 lakh per annum. And if you work at Amazon, your salary can start from 4.6 lakh per annum. All of these numbers that I'm sharing with you are rough estimates and they are not fixed. What matters most is your portfolio quality, your experience, and the network that you have. With that, we have reached to the end of today's graphic versus product design special video. I hope this content was helpful to you in some way. If the answer is yes, you all know what the drill is. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And if you found this video helpful, then you can also share it with your parents who are maybe skeptical about your choice of studying design professionally. Maybe we can convince them in some way. Who knows? Let's hope for the best. In the meanwhile, if you have any more questions for me, you can ask all of that in the comment section and I will try my best to get back to you as soon as I can. And like I keep saying hundreds of times, in fact now thousands of times, take care of yourself, stay smiling, stay safe, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.